Everyone, can I have your attention, please? The animals on your plates did not want to die. They were individuals with the same capacity to suffer as you, with the same capacity to feel pain as the dogs and cats you love at home. How do you justify killing an innocent being with the same capacity to suffer as you do? They were friends and families. They had mothers and babies. Slavery.
Can you tell me
justified. Murder. Justified. A Holocaust. Justified. All for a 5-minute snack. Every time you drink a glass of milk, you are drinking the stolen breast milk of a grieving mother. These animals do not deserve this. We do not need to eat their flesh. In fact, we would thrive without it.
There's no justice in any society that will treat the animals
to speak, but it's actually a noise disturbance of my business, so I agree with what you're saying, but you're doing a noise disturbance, so I'm calling the cops. So you're going to move on, you're going to be quiet.
These animals deserve every right to live, and we have taken that right from them, and we have systematically turned them into commodities.
It's actually you have.
They have every right to continue to live, and we have deprived them of that right.
You have freedom of speech, but you're
Yes, we
actually
do.
being noisy at a public place.
Their bodies,
Not ours.
their eggs,
Not ours.
their lives,
Not ours.
their freedom,
Not ours.
their families,
Not ours.
their lives,
Not ours.
their families,
Not ours.
their milk,
Not ours.
their freedom.
Not ours.
One struggle, one fight.
Human freedom, animal rights.
One struggle, one fight.
Human freedom, animal rights.
How do you like that?
It's
people
not
trying to eat.
food.
It's
It's
violence.
violence. It's not food. It's
It's
violence.
violence.
Call
It's not
us.
food.
Call
It's
us.
violence. It's
Call
not
us.
food.
Right
It's
now.
violence.
I will
It's
sit and
not
be with you, you
food.
dumbass.
It's violence.
You're
Imagine
so
yourselves
fucking
for a second in the
Look me in
place
the
of
eyes.
all of these
Look me in the
animals.
eyes. Look me in the
Imagine
eyes.
yourselves being cramped into cages so tightly that you
Have
can't
you
even
tried to
move
call
your
me?
arms.
Have you tried to call me?
Imagine that you are being
Have you
crowded
tried to
into
call me?
transport trucks
Have you tried to call
with
me?
no
Have you
temperature
sent me a letter?
controls.
Have you come
And
in
that
here?
you're freezing your wrists.
No, this is
Frozen to the
incredibly
sides of the
self-centered.
trucks. Or that you're
Unbelievably.
dying
See, I'm
of
louder
heat
than you. I can
exhaustion.
talk like this all
This
night
is not
long.
about a particular restaurant
Yes, it
or
is.
a
It's about
business.
you.
This is about the plight of the animals in general and what they are suffering for.
Oh my
when they
God,
don't
you guys
need
are
to be.
vegetarians and this is what
These animals are individuals. They are no different than the dogs and cats we love at home. They have the same capacity to suffer as we do. Martin Luther King Jr. once said, the day we become silent about things that matter is the day our lives begin to end. They matter. They suffer. They feel. They are sentient.
Are you hungry?
They have families
Can
and
you
friends.
water?
They are mothers and babies.
That works.
Mother cows, mother pigs, and mother hens love their babies just as much as humans do.
Why don't you come to our
Humans
place? Why
are
don't you call
not
us?
the only
Why don't you come and call me? You
species
can write me a letter. I'll
with the
sit down and I'll meet with
capacity
you. We can
to
discuss
suffer
this.
and feel pain and to love and create
You
relationships.
don't want to have a dialogue.
They
You
deserve
don't
to
believe dialogue.
live.
This is not about a particular restaurant
You don't
or
believe in
business.
dialogue. You don't believe in talking. You don't
This
believe
is
in
about
sitting down and chatting about
the
things.
general idea
No,
of
do you
using,
not want to
abusing,
talk?
and neglecting
Let's go
others
talk
for
right now.
profit.
Let's go talk right now.
That is not
You
just.
don't want to talk.
That is
You do not want to have a
right.
dialogue.
If somebody was
Do you
doing
not wanna-
this
do
to
you
your
not wanna
friends or
discuss
your
things?
family, you would be standing up for them just as we are for these animals.
Do you want to talk about these things?
They
No,
have
you
no
don't.
voice. We are their voice.
But you don't want to talk.
We
You
are
have a
the
voice, but you just don't want to
the
use it,
voiceless.
except when you're yelling.
Their bodies.
Not ours.
Their eggs.
Not ours.
Their milk.
Not ours.
Their babies.
Not ours.
Their families.
Not ours.
What do we want?
Animal liberation.
When do we want it?
Now.
Are we gonna get it?
Yes.
Are we gonna fight for it?
Yes.
What do
You're
we
not gonna
want?
fight. You're
Animal
not gonna get it.
liberation.
When do we want it?
Now.
Are we gonna get it?
Yes.
Are we gonna fight for it?
Yes.
Go somewhere else. Get it.
No, you talk. No, come on, keep yelling.
There was a roadkill down the street, by the way. You could go and get that one.
They sell you lies under the they're in cages of wire or cages of flesh, their suffering is the same. The Holocaust is happening all around us every day. In your shoe and your cup and on your plate. The remnants of their pain.
In front of actual Jews.
A little girl cries alone at night,
No
torn
sense of
from her
self.
mother's side although her grip was tight. Do they not matter? Because they have scales instead of skin and wings instead of arms. Do they not deserve the same compassion that we give our cats and dogs? I swear sometimes I feel like I'm Martin Luther King.
No, you're not.
Speaking with the radical idea that animals are not things. Justice knows no gender, no color, no species. Every being on this earth deserves the right to be safe, happy, and free. It's not food!
It's violence!
It's not food! It's violence! It's not food!
It's violence!
It's not food.
It's violence.
Their bodies,
Not ours!
their eggs,
Not ours!
their babies,
Not ours!
their freedom,
Not ours!
their lives,
Not ours!
their bodies,
Not ours!
their babies,
Not ours!
their eggs,
Not ours!
their lives.
Not ours!
One struggle, one fight.
Human freedom, animal rights!
One struggle, one fight.
Human freedom, animal rights!
One struggle, one fight.
Human freedom, animal rights!
One struggle, one fight.
Human freedom, animal rights! It's not food!
It's violence!
It's not food!
It's violence!
It's not food!
It's violence!
Their bodies!
Not ours.
Their babies!
Not ours!
Their milk!
Not ours!
Their eggs!
Not ours!
Their lives!
Not ours.
Their bodies!
Not ours.
Their families!
Not ours!
Their babies!
Not ours. All of you seem like very good people that would never wish violence or suffering on another sentient being. And I know that you know in your hearts that this isn't right. You know in your hearts that a cat feels just as a pig does. A chicken feels just as a dog does. They all have nervous systems and process pain and suffer before death and violence. I know that if this was happening to somebody that you knew and loved, you would be fighting for this just as we are for those who cannot stand here and fight for themselves. They are the voiceless. They are the unseen suffering that are hidden from sight. Because if you saw what was happening to them every day, every second, every hour of their lives, you would not be funding it. You would not stand for it. You would be outraged. That is why we are here today, to bring this message to you about the suffering of these animals. Because they deserve to live just as much as you do, just as much as your pets at home, just as much as every single person in this restaurant, who, if you were going through what these animals are enduring on a daily basis, I would be standing here and speaking out for you in just the same manner. Count your lucky stars you weren't born a cow. Count your lucky stars you weren't born a pig, or a chicken, or a rabbit, or a turkey. Because you get to live your lives happy, safe, and free. You're not stuffed into a shed of darkness where you never see the sun or feel the air on your face. You're not stuffed into a cage where you can't move your arms or legs, where you're driven to such madness that you are literally pecking and biting at those next to you because your mind can no longer handle the stress. Thank your lucky stars that you weren't born into a life of suffering and misery only to have it cut short because somebody felt that they had the right to eat your body. Thank your lucky stars that you were born into the human species, which considers itself to be privileged above all other species.
Everyone believes in the vegan message. We preach every day about peace and compassion, but do we live it? Do we practice it? Every day, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, do you practice compassion? You sit there eating the tormented, tortured, and mutilated bodies of an innocent being who wanted to live. Their desire to live is no different than you or I. And their capacity to suffer, feel pain, and love is no different than that of a dog or a cat. We have deemed certain animals edible and certain protected.
What about land?
Why do we only protect one but kill the other? How can you justify the calculated murder of beings that are innocent, just as innocent as any dog, any cat, any child, and just as innocent as any one of us? If the things that were happening to the animals at this restaurant were happening to any one of you, we would be standing here fighting for your rights just like we are for the animals. They matter. Whether you think they do or not, they do. It took us 500 years to realize that black people had a right to their own life. It's going to take the same amount of time, if not longer, to have you guys realize that these animals have a right to their own life. How will you guys look when your grandchildren ask you, where were you during the animal holocaust? And what did you do to stop it? I know we look crazy right now, but there will become a day when we are not looked at as crazy. We will be looked at as heroes for speaking a truth that you will one day all believe. Facts are